Welcome to March 2019 Energy Trends. I'm Danielle Rama Hoffman of DivineTransmissions.com. This is Toth with Sanat Kumara, the path of the Venus light, beings of light, the emerald tablets, beings of light, and a larger intergalactic council of light moving into the forefront of this divine transmission. We are delighted to be continuing our energy trends exploration. March is a 3-year, 2019, 2 plus 1 plus 9 equals 12, 1 plus 2 equals 3. 2019 is a 3-year. And so we would begin this energy transmission by bringing into your awareness that the month of March has a very strong connection also to the month of December. And we know that may be an interesting awareness to have this early in your calendar year, to recognize that there is a very strong connection between March and December. Now, how you can maximize that or actualize even greater momentum from that connection is to ask for the energies that you could be creating in December that don't need to wait until December to already be coming in March. So we know that this can be a shift in consciousness because you may be used to thinking, okay, you're going about your year and you have your year-long targets or your choices or your desires that you're choosing to bring into form, and that requires time, and yes, it at times requires time. And at the same time, what is it that you're waiting to have or to be in December that you can actually fast track for March? So we'll let that sink in for a second. Then the other thing that we would say is that the 3-year really is, it's kind of a time to make, from our perspective, a choice that then touches all choices. So as you may know, there has been this shift in consciousness from separation, lack, fear, doubt, worry, survival consciousness that was from the last 2,000 years of the Piscean age or the solar plexus chakra to now being in the heart center, the Aquarian age, unity consciousness, and that there is more divine expansion. That divine expands at this time. There's more to be garnered from being in those states of joy, abundance, clarity. And at the same time, that switch from primarily experiencing yourself through the filters of your body, your mind, your emotions, or the third dimension. This is another way that you can think about the 3 number, to then be acknowledging that you are what we would call you, a light being incarnate in this process of awakening to your divine self, this divine awakening, the divine expansion. And so from our perspective, this year, and in the month of March in a very condensed way, yet also the entire year, is a year where you have that bigger choice to say, okay, are you going to leave your source, your connection, yourself, every time you have a slower vibrational thought? Are you going to go along the journey of your life in a state of anxiety or in a state of worry or in a state of fear? Or are you choosing to move into a greater state of resourcedness? Now, we want to be very clear. There isn't a right or a wrong choice. And we aren't encouraging you in a certain direction. And what we are saying is that this is the year from our perspective where you can make a lot of forward movement in the area of no longer being distracted by the stickiness of the filters of your slower vibrational thoughts, body sensations, and emotions really running your life, running your day. And so we would invite you to really acknowledge, like, if you were to keep a log of your time, how much time you may be spending managing your emotions, or trying to have more positive thoughts, or having the sensation that you have a physical pain or stress or whatever it is, that then kind of, how to say, shifts your focus from your wholeness into the compartmentalization of whatever that experience is. So on a larger scale of March in 2019, there's this evolutionary magic that's happening where you're evolving out of outdated ways of being and then moving into new ways of being. So in survival consciousness, and we know we're taking broad strokes here, and there's a lot that we're bringing forward. So if you're new to this, you may choose to look back at some of the previous energy trends transmissions, or to read the Tablets of Light or the Councils of Light books, the Temples of Light books, to really recognize that the survival patterns that your ancestors required are not the same ones that you at this time require. And so we're inviting you to, if you choose, really put on the altar this evolution, this decision to be more resourced, to come from your wholeness, to stay connected, to have as your top priority your divine connection with oneness, with wholeness. And so let's bring forward some energy to support you in softening. Now, we also want to be clear, it's not about getting rid of the slower vibrations or chastising yourself if you find that you go out of wholeness or high vibration into a lower vibration. That's going to be natural. And at the same time, it is almost like putting your foot down and saying, enough is enough. Enough is enough. There's nothing wrong with you. Nothing needs to be fixed. Enough is enough. What else? All is well, now what? What else could you be spending your focus on? What if those are outdated protective mechanisms that are actually slowing you down to being and doing and having what's yours to be and do and have at this time? So we would bring forward some energy to support you in softening these repetitive patterns, and then to open up to new possibilities. And it is a choice. We keep saying this word choice, so we'll bring it in a little bit more in a focused way. It really is a choice to say, okay, today, what if I didn't get distracted or bogged down or go into the loop, the hamster wheel of chasing my mind, my emotions, and my body? What if my mind, emotions, and body were in wholeness, still a way that I experience myself, yet not the primary filter? The primary filter then becomes divine wholeness, becomes unity, becomes recognition that you are this light being, that you are frequency, your consciousness, your energy, you're multidimensional. So we'll bring forward some energy, and we'd invite to support this shift, this choice. We invite you to close your eyes if you're called. And we'll transmit this energy in the silence at first, and just calling upon your higher self to receive what's yours to receive. Loving your thoughts, your emotions, your body, acknowledging what a great job they have been doing, especially the safety ones, protective ones, and then letting them know that there's a possibility for them, those patterns, those habits, to evolve into their next evolution in consciousness. That any distortions or overlays, separations that may be on your thinking patterns or your emotional responses, something in your life happens that's unpreferred, or you see something on the news that's unpreferred, what's the response that you have? Do you go into sadness? Do you go into fear? Do you go into insecurity? Do you go, we're talking about the slower vibrations. We know this isn't all the time. Do you go into anger? What if there's another possibility than that? So we're bringing some energy here to love up those lower dimensional patterns, to include them into the wholeness. You're not trying to get rid of any part of you. That doesn't work. And then ask yourself, what would it take really? What would it take for you to experience your higher self all the time? What would it take for you to experience your divine connection all the time? And now begin to bring your awareness to more of you. If we're saying you're more than your body, your mind, your emotions, how do you experience the moreness of you? Do you tune into your energy, your light body, your higher self? Good. And while we're in this space, inviting you as well to connect to yourself in the future, in December, and to ask anything that you may have earmarked for December that actually could be actualized in March, kind of the sum of the entire year, as well, the internal transformation, evolution, the external actualizations. If there's anything that you can collapse the timelines on, and it's in alignment with your free will and conscious choice, we invite you to invite that energy into March. So let's say you are selling your house and you think that you need the next 9 months in order to get it ready to sell. Yet there's a buyer actually that would love to have it now, that then you connect to the buyer and the buyer can buy it now. This is just a concrete example of what we're talking about. Or let's say you are thinking that something in the future that happens as a result of this year will create greater joy or happiness or health. What if that thing could happen in March? And what if also you could experience the joy now? So we know this is an interesting concept that we're bringing here because it's a little bit like a wrinkle in time or a wormhole, or the recognition that there is only this now moment. And when you're in a 3-year, in the 3rd month of that year, a 3-year, a 12-year, there, and in particular in 2019, there's this possibility to already garner in March what it may have taken in previous years an additional 9 months to create. Now we know this doesn't apply to everything, because some things really benefit from the experience of experiencing them over your perceived recognition of time. Yet there are some that you can bring in now. Where is it that you're waiting for something to happen off in the future that's actually ready for you to experience right here and right now? And in this month of March. Good. And then as you're ready to opening your eyes, and we would invite you to also have your eye on the energy of support, that you may be even more supported as you are in this evolutionary process. And to call upon that support, ask for that support. And that this year, as you are choosing, if you're choosing to really be coming from the totality of you, from the fully expressed brilliance of you, from your multidimensionality, then there will be a lot more ease that you experience. And that you may also have the experience of those deepest fears coming to the surface, because this is the year that you can complete them. Or those habits of thinking coming to the surface, those limiting beliefs coming to the surface, because this is the year, the month, the day, the hour, the minute that you can complete them. Because really, you're here on the Earth Star with a very unique purpose and vision. And the new paradigm is asking for new ways of being. And so we'd also invite you, as a little bit of homework, to contemplate, if you're logging your hours, how often you go off on a tangent in your mind, your emotions, the slower vibrational energies, sensations of your body, and you're logging that, where you drift off, or you're in a resistance pattern, or you've left your connection. You write down those minutes, those hours. How many minutes a day is that taking? And then once you're onto that, and then you have other choices and support to make those choices, because some of these patterns are very ingrained. So you may seek some support in making those choices. Then how else are you spending your time? What else can you be focusing on? What else becomes possible once that's freed up? And we'd invite you to have that really be the second part of your homework, is what else now can you be focusing on? And then really be being in that space of that joy and that delight. So we would complete at this time, and we very much are acknowledging your courageousness, your devotion, and your choice to come to the Earth Star during an overlap of paradigms, to be born where there's separation consciousness, and to live into unity consciousness. And that you have a contribution to that paradigm shift. And as you experience it, as above, so below, as within, so without. So we know at times you may underestimate how much you making internal changes actually contributes to the earth and beyond, and to others. And it is a lot. It is a dynamic contribution to the evolution in consciousness. We are available to support you as you're called. You can call upon us and your unique Council of Light directly. All is light, and we are all.